This segment is sponsored by Dennis Goins of DennisGoins.com. I'm Lady Charmaine, and I'm back with financial advisor, Mr. Dennis Goins. How are you doing today, Dennis?
I'm doing fine, Lady Charmaine. How are you?
Good. Today, we're going to be talking about a great topic, and we're going to be talking about an inherited IRA. So let's talk a little bit about that. And for those who don't even know what an IRA is, can you first explain to us what is it?
An IRA stands for an individual retirement account. That's what the IRA stands for. An IRA, like any other tax-qualified program, like a pension or et cetera, allows you to save money for retirement. And the key benefit of that, you get tax advantages. In other words, the money goes tax-free until you're ready to bring the money out. Today's topic is basically an inherited IRA. An inherited IRA is if an individual is basically, when they're living, the owner of the IRA, they pass away, then the beneficiary or the person that they want to give it to has options as far as what to do with that IRA. So, first of all, you need to understand, and we find a lot of it out now with people with 401k plans, pensions, individual retirement accounts, IRAs. They pass away. And the beneficiary is sitting there with a significant amount of money, and it's a significant tax trap, IRS tax trap that's waiting to happen if you don't basically know how to handle that. But you got to understand what your options are if a person passes away. First, you got to make sure that you are the one who's actually the beneficiary of that IRA. To my participants about checking your beneficiaries to make sure that there is a beneficiary on your retirement accounts, on your life insurance, and et cetera. Because if you don't, then that presents problems once you pass away. So you got to make sure that you are the actual beneficiary of the IRA. And that's important because that's a contract, and it transfers to the individual by contract. A will or trust or whatever cannot override who's on the beneficiary form. So you got to make sure that you can find that. And upon the death of an individual and you suspect or think that you're the beneficiary, you got to make sure and check with the custodian or the investment company to make sure that you are on there to be the beneficiary. And if you're not, then that's going to be a problem. The insurance company or the investment company will have to decide who the money goes to, and usually it goes to the decedent's estate, not you, and there becomes a lot of significant problems to do that. So you got to first make sure that you're the actual person that's inherited. Once again, if it's transferred by will or trust, you lose all the tax advantages to do that. And the key thing is understanding the rules for spouses and non-spouses. Very critical here as far as what your benefits are. If you're a husband or wife and you pass on the traditional IRA or Roth or whatever, then you have three options. And keep in mind, you have to be as a beneficiary on the form. You can be married and a previous spouse doesn't bring money. So you got to make sure if there's an intention for it to go to the existing spouse, that existing spouse must be on the beneficiary. But there's a couple of options that you have if you are the spouse. You can roll that money over into a beneficiary IRA. So in other words, you can just basically keep it in the decedent's name, and you can just take beneficiary withdrawals from that IRA for the rest of your life. And of course, the key point about an inherited IRA is you don't have to pay the taxes on all the amount, only the amount that comes out. For example, if you have a $300,000 IRA and if it's not inherited, then it's the tax trap. That whole $300,000 would be subjected to taxes once that person takes that out at one time. And you're in a 15 to 20% tax trap. Then you're only going to get probably $200,000 to $220,000. So a significant amount of that money goes into taxes. Opposed to if you have an inherited IRA, you can take out portions for the rest of your life, and it's kind of a legacy. But if you're a spouse, then you can either keep it in the existing decedent's IRA, or you can roll it over into your own individual IRA. And that's advantage because you can basically take it out once you're based on your life expectancy. All of these are based on life expectancies of the individual that either passed away, if you're a spouse, or your own individual IRA, if it's your individual IRA. So for a spouse, those are two special provisions you have. You can keep the existing owners, decedent's IRA of individuals, and this is where they have a problem. You basically too often make the wrong decision, but you have to set up your own individual inherited IRA to get the tax advantages. So what happens is you have to let the investment company know that I don't want the lump sum. I want to set up an inherited IRA. The investment company rolls the money over into your own inherited IRA, and then you take certain segments, certain portions out for the rest of your life. What's the advantage of that is you don't have to pay that tax all at one time. You can take portions of that money out for the rest of your life, and it basically becomes a legacy. But we have a lot of people that don't know that. Pay the taxes on all that money at one time. And you have to know what the rules are. You have to know what the timeline is. You have until September of the following year that a person died to let the investment company know, the insurance company know that you want to take out an inherited IRA. Then you have to start taking out withdrawals by April 15th of that following year to get the tax preferential treatment. If you do not take it out, then there's a severe penalty in doing that.
Mr. Goins.
Beneficiaries that go to that also. So it's a significant opportunity. It's a lot of, again, this is a tax trap. The IRS is not going to tell you about this because they want you to hit that tax trap so you can basically pay all those taxes. But that's a way of extending a legacy and basically managing a beneficiary IRA on a tax efficient basis.
See, that's why we need people like you, because, they're not going to give us all that information. Like when I went to your event on last week and when you were telling us about whole life insurance, and if you take a loan out against it and God forbid, you die and then you go down to the mortuary and you want them to, bury you, and you say, hey, I have life insurance. And if you have a loan against it, then guess what? You may not be able to, be buried and have your services. And that was really good information that I learned from you, Mr. Goins. And I thank you for sharing with us all the things that they're not going to tell us, because it's so important to people like myself. So thank you.
Absolutely. No problem.
But what I wanted to say was, if somebody wanted to contact you, how can they reach you?
They can reach me at my email address, dennis@dennisgoins.com, and my website is www.dennisgoins.com.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me on the show. You always share good information.
Very good. Pleasure's mine.
Thank you for listening. If you would like to learn more about financial investments, contact Dennis Goins at dennisgoins.com.